Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday the 13th at about 20 to 6. Total disinterest in the US today. I'll show you the chart in a second. VectorVest, the traffic light doesn't look that positive. VectorVest does not advocate buying stocks at this time. Short-term trend is still up. The underlying trend is up, but the breadth of the market still awful. And we have a confirmed down in place. And as you can see, 2,000 shares on 2,200 on a sell, 1,500 odd on a buy. The Nasdaq is down, the Dow is up a bit, and the S&P's up a bit, but I think I've got the chart of the S&P open, and that's what has done this afternoon since the open. That's a 5-minute chart, and that's absolute hell if you're a day trader. Yesterday was relatively easy as it came off that low. That was yesterday. That was Wednesday's low. It came off and ran up quite nicely, but so far today there's been absolutely nothing apart from losses. So let's have a look at some shares, and if I have a look at the shares that I have, I've sold a couple of them. I've still got them on the watch list because it makes it easier to find them. I'm still holding Crocs, and it's up quite nicely. Not great. I've sold ANAT at a really cool profit, and I'm still holding EVC. I got back into EVC. I'm still holding Square, but it's underwater, and I got stopped out of Visa yesterday. Let's just have a look at the chart. There we go. I entered somewhere about here, and I didn't like it, and I got stopped out under that low yesterday. I suspect it's going back to that 78% retracement, and maybe I'll get another go at it, but that's just the way it is. So one small loss there. Square underwater, but still well above its stop loss. And as I mentioned to you many times, I'm trading quite small at this time of the year. August is never easy. Okay, so in the UK, well, our market couldn't be more different. In fact, we've got strong breadth and strong trend, and this is at Thursday's close. VectorVest advocates buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. Everything is up, and in terms of the short-term trends, you can see the amount of green that we've got here. So I'm very happy with the portfolio, and we'll look at gold in a second. That's what I'm holding, and I've just resorted it and brought gold to the top. But Lion Trust went again. That's great. Kainos came off a bit, not the end of the world yet. Crichtons have come off a little bit as well, but I've looked at 5 or 6 of the shares that I'm holding, and I want to highlight them for you on a 5-year chart. Now this is a 5-year weekly chart, and down below we've got earnings per share, and we have 3 young men at VectorVest UK that have developed a methodology called Earnings Per Share Kings, where they look at earnings per share and the trend of the share over the last 5 years, and it produces some exceptionally good results. As you can see, Cape earnings per share is good. Cape Tech came back, kissed it. That was the COVID collapse last year, where all sorts of things were going on. It came back again to pretty much the same level, and now it gapped out of this consolidation. Always a good sign. That's what I call the rocket launcher. And I note that this low is significantly higher than that last major top, and that's what Charles Dow called many years ago a fast trend, and I think there's an awful lot more legs in Cape Tech. It's a new position for me. I only bought into it the other day. Position is marginally a little bit in the money, but I like the look of that. We shall see how long it takes to make a move, so that looks good. This is Cranswick, and Cranswick's been a long-term holding of mine. go back quite a few years to see the chart here, but you can see this is 9-year, a 10-year chart. And you can see the levels here, folks. You can see this level. Now, this is where we're at the minute if we ignore 2020. And it seems to be pushing up through that level again. The vector-based valuation is at 45 odd. So I wouldn't be expecting it to shoot the lights out here. But I think that this is going to, assuming the general market can hang in there, we'll see this pushing up and pushing up quite strongly to around that 45. Could even get to 50. So hang in there if you're in Cranswick. It's a great company. This is JD Sports. The vector-based valuation is 984, and we're trading at 968. It's been a great stock for vector-based customers. I've done so well in it over the years, and I bought into it after the COVID collapse at about £5 last year, 5.50 I think it was. And it's finally broken up through the February 2020 high, and I see that Goldman Sachs the other day put a value to it of £12. So that's what's pushed it up over the last couple of days. So and that's good company to keep. So I think that I've added. I bought it here, and I've added to JD Sports once along the way. So a reasonable position in JD Sports. Been very kind to me over the last few years, that company. This is CCC. And again, look at the 5-year earnings per share growth. And as you can see, it pulled back. I like this down here. This is what I call a Wyckoff spring. And it's broke the highs. It's come back and kissed them a few days ago. If I blow this up, it made an exceptionally, a few weeks ago, this is a weekly chart, we had a wonderful outside week, and in the process it went down and ran the stops below this, below 25. So that looks strong to me. So I think that is worthy of keeping and adding to if you've got it. And the last one, of course, I've talked about many times, Games Workshop. It's been exceptionally kind to all vector-based customers. And again, in the last time I bought into it was somewhere down around here. And I've added to it twice. Okay, I didn't double or treble my position, but I've added to it. It, to me, it looks as if it's trying to break here on the 4th attempt. That's the first, that's the second, that's the third, and if it does get through these highs, then the technical target is a long way up. So I'm very positive about that. A couple of weekly closes above that 120 level, or even one weekly close above that 120 level, then I'll try and find some more money and add to it again, because the technical target would be about £70 above that. That would take that to £200, and if you don't believe that, just look at the chart as to what it's done over the last few years. So the UK market very strong. As you read, not a day goes by that some American private equity company don't come across and buy something. That's because their market is, if it was any higher, it would have a nosebleed in price. Our market is significantly cheaper and offers very, very good value indeed, my humble opinion. So the only two stocks that are lagging, of course, are the gold stocks, and gold up nicely today off these lows. That was that big sell-off on Monday. Well, just after the market opened, in a market that was dead, really, no volume going through it at all. I couldn't resist a long, so I'm long from, where's my book, 1752. My stop's still at 1724, but I'm gonna hold it over the weekend, and I'm in fact going to bring the stop up to entry. It either goes or it doesn't. I'm not going to lose money in it now. As you can see, the stochastic didn't quite get down. This is a 14 day. It should be 8. What am I doing, David? That should be 8. And that's the 833 stochastic on the daily chart. Didn't get quite down to an overbought level, but produced a divergent signal. The price made a falling bottom. The indicator was flat. And if I go to the weekly chart, we can see that the weekly chart's coming from a very oversold situation. The risk, this doesn't predict the future, but it tells you that you're getting in at a place where the risk to reward is favorable, and I couldn't resist that little morning star. Okay, down, doji, and up, and the close of the first blue bar is higher than the high of the doji. That was, I think, the 10th. That would have been what, Tuesday's trading. Yeah, Tuesday trading. I couldn't resist that long. So I see that polymetal is up a couple of percent today, based on that. So that's starting to look quite good. Let's see. I reiterate, folks, that if you're not in the gold market, just leave it well alone. This trade that I have is a speculative trade, and I would like to see it close somewhere up around 1860, a couple of weeks above 1860, before I would advise anybody getting into the market. If that's the case, then there's a huge upside here till about 2300. Whether that's going to happen or not will be decided by the Fed, and we should only get some guidance on that after this Jackson Hole powwow towards the end of August. So if we go back to the American market, as we normally do at the end of these videos, we can see that where am I now? Nothing has changed here. The buy-sell ratio is down from yesterday after advancing for a few days. The RT is, if it finishes like this, is going to print a red light. And VectorVest does not advocate buying stocks at this time. So the breadth is, although the American market is making new highs, good God, that's bullish, but it's not making new highs on any decent volume at all, and that is a worry. I suspect it's a function of the season, and we won't get any direction until after Jackson Hole. So ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday afternoon at 1:30 for the VectorVest regulars. Anybody listening who hasn't got an invite for that, just email me, david.paul@vectorvest.com. Take it easy and have a great weekend. Bye bye.